What's up everyone, hope you guys are all having a great day today, and hopefully if I scheduled this video right, we're less than 24 hours away from Halo Infinite's campaign dropping. And today, the reviews came out, and they're solid. Nothing absolutely groundbreaking, just solid. Apparently the story isn't that good, which is disappointing because from what I've heard, once again I've never finished a Halo campaign yet, but from what I've heard the games usually have some pretty well written stories. And before the people in the comments go, Josh, how dare you defend a game with this many issues? Yes, I'm aware the game has issues. The fact that you're not going to be able to choose your game mode in the multiplayer at launch is absolutely fucking inexcusable. Thankfully, all of the issues in the multiplayer are easily fixable, even if it seems like 343 fucked up in literally only the small shit when it comes to the multiplayer. But overall, the metascore for the game is good. I don't really care because literally every review that's ever made is heavily biased, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to fucking laugh at the PlayStation fanboys who are losing their shit on Twitter. And dude, it's literally a fucking nuclear wasteland of salt out there. So I'd suggest wearing a hazmat suit, because if you don't, some of the stupidity you're gonna see today might seep into your brain and turn you into one of these fuckers. So enough talking and let's see what Twitter has shout out today. Watch Dogs kind of downgrade. Holy shit. You know what? I'll be honest, this is so far the only fair thing I've ever heard come out of LED's mouth. The picture on the left kind of looks like actual dog shit. Good job, LED. You were able to make a genuinely good criticism or something. I just hope you'll be able to
keep that same energy
with The Last of Us 2.
The new Cyberpunk.
And this is where the ponies go back to being fucking retarded again. To say that this is even comparable to Cyberpunk with Cyberpunk's N64 looking ass characters, not to mention the game being literally broken at launch and 1 year later still having a significant amount of bugs is fucking stupid. For one, Halo Infinite isn't literally fucking broken. Delayed features? Absolutely. But to say that it's to the level of Cyberpunk is fucking retarded.
7 years in the marking, $500+ million in budgets, 750 studios employees. Anything under 90 is a massive L.
Okay, so where the fuck do these people keep getting the $500 million budget thing from? Because I looked it up for what it seems like is the millionth time I've done this, and the only site I'm seeing that says anything close to the game having a $500 million budget is actually saying the exact opposite. For Halo Infinite, the $500 million figure will take into account salaries, advertising, marketing, testing, delays, licenses, and more. We should note that the Xbox Dynasty report was rebuked by Frankie, a worker for 343 Industries, and claimed that the budget figure was not accurate. Hell, even one of the PlayStation fanboys debunked this. And then, where the fuck is he getting the 7+ years shit from? My guy, Halo 5 has only been out for just over 6 years. Not to mention a solid 1 3/4 of those years were spent during COVID when it was a lot harder to develop games. And on top of that, the only credible source I've seen that talked about the game's development cycle was saying it's been in development for more than 4 years, which means less than 5, because if it were more than 5, they would have just said more than 5.
So according to Xbox, Returnal, a new IP sitting at 85 on Metacritic, is a flop, but Halo Infinite, a established iconic IP for Xbox, is sitting at 87 Metacritic as Game of the Year. Can't make this shit up.
Okay, who the fuck is calling Returnal a flop? I mean, the only thing I heard come out of the discussion for that game was that it was overpriced and broken at launch. I mean, I'm sure it profited, and who the fuck is calling Halo Infinite Game of the Year? It isn't even fucking out yet, and the multiplayer has a shitload of issues that aren't even going to be fixed at the game at launch. Anyone calling Halo Infinite Game of the Year in the state that it is right now is actually fucking brain dead. Halo Infinite reviews are in. Xbox Series X, 87. PC, 81.
Mediocre as always. Good job, Halo.
Since when the fuck is an 87 and even an 81 mediocre? What the fuck are these people on? I mean, I guess Spider-Man is mediocre then. Same with Horizon Zero Dawn. How many reviewers will say Halo has its flaws, but 9 out of 10 are my game of the year, plus a couple of perfect scores cause perfection itself is flawed. I swear I smell it in the air. A year earlier, brag about power. Brag about RDNA chewing ray tracing, then ignore it. This is Xbox. Yes, reviewers are biased. No fucking shit. Why do you think a game as dog shit as Uncharted 1 is a fucking 88? And where the fuck did they ignore the power in RDNA 2 with Halo Infinite? The Series X is pushing out 120 FPS on Infinite, along with a quality mode that's on 4K. The only thing he talked about that Halo Infinite doesn't have is ray tracing, and even then, I don't really fucking care. I honestly see ray tracing as a gimmick that you'll turn on for a few minutes but immediately switch back off from how much it fucks with your frame rate. it. And wasn't Sony bragging about their ray tracing, but then they didn't use it for some of their own games like Demon's Souls?
Lol, when Ratchet & Clank beats the biggest Microsoft franchise, you know there's no competition.
Lol, when a fucking flight simulator is higher than the biggest PlayStation exclusive this year, you know these people are gonna be on suicide watch.
Holy crap, this is insulting to Xbox fans. Xbox Game Pass is ruining gaming.
Why the fuck do they keep comparing the graphics of a movie game built on story alone to a first-person shooter? Compare it to Doom Eternal, the new COD, a previous Halo game, any of that shit. You are making yourself look like a retard. And what does downgrade have anything to do with it being on Game Pass? Last of Us 2 is also downgraded hard, especially in the gameplay department, yet it never launched on any service.
Apparently the Halo campaign is 7 to 9 hours long if you just focus on the main missions. Where are those motherfuckers who clowned Ratchet & Clank and Miles Morales for being so short? The Halo Infinite campaign lasts about 8 hours, one and done.
These people have absolutely no right to be calling the Halo Infinite campaign short. For one, that's if you speed straight through the main quest. It's an open world game and the main quests usually take up a solid 25% of the shit there is to do in the game. Not to mention, Halo campaigns usually last for about 7 to 9 hours on average. They're like Resident Evil games in the way that they're super replayable. It also has an entire multiplayer mode, which is a major part of Halo, and once it's fixed, people can dump hundreds and hundreds of hours into it. And I don't even need to talk about the length of PlayStation's exclusives, because I've said it so many times that I don't even need to justify it with a response at this point.
Halo Infinite is a movie confirmed.
The irony of the PlayStation fanboys trying to ridicule Halo Infinite for having cutscenes is actually fucking hilarious.
If gameplay is king, why did everyone shit on the graphics a year ago so hard that they delayed it for a whole year? Graphics are super important and I'm kind of tired of people saying otherwise. If gameplay was king, we would all still play on PS1, SNES, and old PCs.
Yes, because when it comes to games, what matters is how good they look. Not whether they're fun or not, it's whether they implement ray tracing or some stupid shit like that. For one, the PS1 and SNES are terrible examples, because those consoles' controllers would not be able to work at all for what games are coming out today because of their lack of control stick. Also, generations allow games to evolve through gameplay as well. Once again, the example of control sticks. I highly doubt the PS1 would be able to do the grapple hook functionality of stuff like Doom Eternal or Halo Infinite, or that those consoles can have as many demons on screen that Doom Eternal has without the frame rate dropping to 2 frames per second. And nobody is saying that graphics don't matter. Like he said, everyone was bitching about Halo's graphics last year because they looked like a 360 game, which was absolutely fair. But now they look on par with every other FPS games like Doom Eternal and COD, but apparently that's not good enough and it has to look like fucking movie games now.
Halo Infinite got an 81. The PC score is the real score without all these biased reviewers. It's really not good enough.
Does he know how dog shit the PC version is right now? Keep in mind the people reviewing the PC version are people that primarily play on PC. And if you haven't noticed yet, the optimization for Halo Infinite on PC is kind of dog shit as of right now. Like, I remember hearing from Mischief that the PC version would drop to as low as like 79 frames on a fucking 3070, which is absolutely unacceptable when the lowest the Series X would drop to is around like 100 FPS.
Gotta get that money from Microsoft.
Yes, because if you disagree, they're automatically paid off. Literal fucking quartering logic right here. God, that actually brings me back, honestly. Can you guys fucking imagine that it's been an entire fucking year since I started doing this shit and I'm already 3.2 thousand subs in? Shit's actually fucking insane. But until I see evidence of the reviewers being paid off, anyone who jumps to this conclusion is fucking retarded. Also, side note, I also saw a couple people pointing out that the reviews are rigged for some reason because people reviewing it have the word Xbox in their names. Like, Sony doesn't have people with PlayStation in their names reviewing Last of Us 2, so I wouldn't really call that evidence either.
Really disappointed after so long and multiple delays. Halo Infinite score is so low. For a flagship game, it should definitely be at least a 90. It'll settle for somewhere around an 83 to 84, I'm guessing. 343 ain't Bungie, I guess.
Yes, because Bungie's in such a good state right now by literally doing fuck all for the last 4 years except for adding DLC to Destiny 2. And how the fuck is an 86 low? And even if Halo had gotten into the 90s, he would have just called it a fucking DLC because it didn't surpass Combat Evolved's score like he did with Forza last month. Is Halo Infinite a perfect example of how powerful the Xbox Series X truly is. Is it a great showcase of next generation on the Series X? I would love to know from how many people who reviewed the game. Thank you. No, because it's not a next-gen game. We've had to explain this to the PlayStation fanboys so many fucking times it's not even funny anymore. It has to run on the fucking VCR Xbox from 2013. It's not going to be taking the Series X to its limits. There aren't really any games on the PS5 that do that yet either. These consoles are literally only a year old, and cross-gen games don't seem to be stopping anytime soon. The games that really are going to be pushing the Series X and the PS5's potential are going to be coming out at the end of the generation, like how Last of Us 2 did with the PS4. Anyways, I'm fucking tired. I'm about ready to drop dead on my desk from all the stupidity I saw today, but remember, 343 bad, everyone. Anyways, like, subscribe, join my Discord, recommend me some shit to make fun of in my survey, and I'll hopefully see you guys in a couple of days from the Salt Fest that comes from the Game Awards this Thursday.
What are you going to do?